All right. So let me see, get my mic here closer to me. I'm live streaming right now. This is I think, my first time live streaming to my Simple Video channel. I have Chris here with me from the Ignition Factor. Welcome, Chris. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us a little bit about kind of what stuff you're working on, and then I wanted to talk to you about some of the things I've been working on this week.
Yeah, so my name's Chris Lukey. I'm a retired firefighter. I put together a personal development course, which originally started out when I retired, kind of helping first responders go through a lot of situations, mindset work, post-traumatic stress, and then that's growing into me becoming a certified Bob Proctor consultant. And for those of you who don't know Bob, he was one of the leading personal development and mindset coaches in the world. And so I learned all Bob's material, got certified through him, and now we help people individually, personally, business wise, relationships. So it's involved into a whole personal development program. So really enjoying helping people and doing that.
Awesome. And are do you have some videos that you're making in the process then?
Yeah, so I'm really going to start producing. I've done a whole bunch of like test stuff just to kind of get out of my comfort zone. But my goal now in the next couple of weeks is to actually start producing content related to my program. The program, it starts off, there's all about limiting beliefs, how to set proper goals, overcoming fear, stress, overwhelm, anxiety. We talk about, self-image. So it's a pretty intensive program. It's 12 modules. It's 24 weeks long. And my goal is to take snippets out of the program and start producing, some content, some program-related content.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you have a webinar coming up. I don't remember if you mentioned it on this stream yet, but
Yeah, so I'm doing a little webinar. It's Thursday, October 3rd at 12 noon. If anyone wants to get a hold of me, it's the Ignition Factor Coaching at gmail.com. And basically, I'm going to go over 4 simple mindset strategies to elevate your life, to rise up, level up, life up. Whatever it is, like I said, again, if it's personally, professionally, it's a strong program for anyone who's in business, who really wants to elevate their business or take their business to a next level. Some great strategies there as well. So I'll be going over probably about 45 to 50 minutes, 4 simple mindset strategies to kind of get you to the next level.
yeah, mindset is so important. I was doing some videos. Even today, I was talking about. I was doing a video kind of on, like, asking yourself why. Like, for those that want a podcast, for example, why do you want a podcast? Like, what's motivating you? I think there's kind of 2 different groups of people. There's one that are motivated to. It's sort of like writing a book. Like, I need to share, whether anyone listens to it or not. And then there's those that are doing it with a mindset towards monetization one way or another. And I think it's much harder to sustain a monetization mindset because you have to go through a period of where your channel is small and irrelevant and all that. But it's really important, I think, when you're going to monetize, to be always thinking about who am I talking to? Like, who is this message directed to? I think it's easy to just take for granted and forget about who we're talking to, as opposed to us just getting up and talking. So it's really important
Yeah.
to be constantly focusing on that.
Yeah, and my program encompasses, like, it focuses on a couple different demographics, or so. I'm really passionate about helping first responders and their mental well-being, and that's how I got involved in the program. It dramatically opened up my eyes to just how we think, how and why we think, and where these thoughts come from. And we talk about words like paradigms, and we have a conscious and subconscious mind, and how our thoughts are processed and where they come from. And you think in 30 years of being involved as a first responder, resiliency, and all the mental well-being, we've never been trained how our mind operates and how to process these thoughts and how to understand where they're coming from, and more importantly, how to deal with them and overcome those limiting beliefs or those habits that are ingrained in you since birth, because we literally been programmed since birth. And we often wonder, why am I so stuck And then when you realize the programming in your mind, and then you figure out, you know what, I can actually unprogram myself and I can create a new program. And I always look at it as your mind is like a cell phone or this computer, and for it to run efficiently, you've always got to upgrade the software. And if you don't upgrade it, it won't run as efficient or effective as it should be. So mindset work is incredibly important, and it's one thing that was never worked on. As first responders, they kind of ignore it. And I think one of the reasons why is no one can see the mind, so no one knows how to fix the mind. But like I said, I'm going over Thursday some simple mindset hacks to teach you kind of the science. Everything is science based. Nothing's made up. This is all real stuff. It's Bob Proctor was around for 60 years, and when you really learn that you can be in control, it brings clarity and awareness to your mind. It brings freedom.
Well, that's really good, and I hope you're able to get some traction with people that you can help. It reminds me a little bit. So a couple nights ago, my wife and I are doing a coaching program together. Long overdue. But I've been doing some coaching more on my professional side, so like lawyer coaching for a couple of years now. But we're actually doing a coaching program together with a husband and wife team. And one of the things that we realized, one of the things that we were supposed to do as part of this program is sit down and identify goals. Like, what are some goals we have? Like, what's a goal we could achieve in the next 12 weeks? So it's based on a 12-week program, right? And I'm rereading the book, The 12-Week Year. Actually, I just finished it for the second time. Really good book. But it's about like setting goals, and then like, okay, now that we have our goals, what are we going to do between now and when we want to accomplish that goal to make it happen? And that's surprisingly difficult to do. And for us, we found it really, really difficult, like weird to sit down and like just plan for the future and make goals for ourselves.
Yeah.
Because, as busy people, busy parents, whatever, so much is just reactionary. You're just trying to get through the day. And I'm sure that's true for first responders. Is you have to like step back and like make time for this that doesn't seem important to the task at hand. But I think for most of us, we just go through life being busy and don't stop and do this stuff.
100%. I mean, we run on autopilot, and we just begin to accept the way we are. And so much of us want to step out of our comfort zone, and we go to do that. We actually have a lesson in our program. It's called the terror barrier. So when people start entertaining an idea and they want to step out of their comfort zone to start the business, start the podcast, earn more money, do that thing, they get scared and they have all these thoughts and feelings, and then they get imposter syndrome and they pull back. Well, we teach you why that is happening, how worry and doubt in the conscious mind enters the subconscious mind is fear. And if you let fear fester long enough, it enters your body as anxiety. And if you don't know how to control your anxiety, it turns into depression. So all kinds of crazy stuff happens if you don't know how to handle the terror barrier. So we show you tools and techniques of why this is happening. And then we say on the other side of fear is faith, is knowledge. And when you actually, people procrastinate and put things off a lot simply because they don't know, right? They don't know, so they give up, and they don't know what to expect. They don't know where to get the resources or the knowledge or their information, so they give up. And but when you push through that terror barrier, it's a whole new life on the other side of the terror barrier. So, but yeah, our program deals with all that.
Is your program? Do you find that your sweet spot of people is of a certain like age demographic, or is it all over the board?
What I'm really finding it actually, like I'm in my mid-50s, and I'm finding it really is an older demographic, people who just are at a certain point in their life, they're unhappy, they're stuck.
Yeah.
don't like their job, their career. They want to move on to something else. All these things have happened, and they look back and think, is it too late for me? And I always tell, it's never too late. Like, it's never too late, right? Whatever you want to do, whatever your goal is. Especially in today's society, they say success loves speed. So if you're willing to put in the work and take action, you can turn things around pretty quick right now. But most people just don't know how, right?
Yeah, I think that is absolutely true. And I put myself sort of in that category. I'm in my mid 40s, towards the end of my 40s now. But, I think that a lot of people get to be in their 40s and 50s, hit that point in life where they start to ask, is there something more out there? Is there something more I could do? Most of us are not super and optimally fulfilled in our life. And some of us are just plain miserable.
Yeah.
And, so that's why I think for some of us, your kids are older, or maybe they're getting out of the house and you have some time on your hand and maybe some money even to do some different things. And so there tends to be this tends to be the same segment of the population that we're talking about here. Which is actually a really nice segue to, I've talked about this guy before, but I want to share this guy's YouTube channel that I've really started to like. I'm going to put him on the screen here. So it's Rob the Maritimer. If you're not, for anyone that sees this, if you're not following him, I recommend Rob. His stuff is all about why, when you're in your 40s or later, he's probably closer to your age, I guess, maybe a little older. The importance of, let's say, starting a YouTube channel. That's his thing, is more about how to do a YouTube channel. But he did a video this morning that I was grateful for, because I've been trying to put this together for some of my people. It's like how to create a YouTube channel, like the beginner's guide, like how to open up and start your YouTube channel. So I was watching that this morning. But he is really speaking to the type of people that you're talking about, that, this is kind of his legacy. I don't know if this is a sort of a second career for him. But, he talks about how, like, everyone, when you get in over your 40s, should have a YouTube channel. Like, and I think of it as like equivalent of writing a book, but just so much easier, because you just get in front of a dumb camera and you just talk, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm a huge fan of that idea. I like his content, and I think the biggest thing I deal with is just time. Like, how do I find the time to do this stuff and be consistent with it? So I'm always looking for ways to save time and make the process more efficient.
Yeah, actually, you mentioned that to our group, I think a week or two ago. So I started going on and watching him. He's got some great tips. Mm-hmm. Simplifies everything. So that's a great resource for me, because YouTube is definitely a channel I want to definitely explore. It's funny. Also, I'm going to send you a link. I came across a retired couple from the U.S. who moved. I forget, it was Puerto Rico, or they were moving, and so they basically set up a YouTube channel, kind of explaining how Americans in your retirement can get to Dominican or Puerto Rico, wherever they're retiring from, and their channel exploded. I think within 90 days they got a couple thousand followers. So basically now they teach people how to create YouTube channels as well, and they're in retirement, and so it can happen. They said 3 billion people a day tune into YouTube, and that's half the world's population. 3 billion. I was astonished by that. So YouTube is incredibly powerful. So our big goal for us is to tap into YouTube a whole lot more. I've gotten over my own fear and barrier, so I'm not afraid to be in front of the camera anymore. So my goal for me is to start learning the tips and tricks and the keywords and how to grow my YouTube audience.
Well, I'm kind of in the process of rebranding some of my YouTube, because I think YouTube is, I wouldn't say it's the future, it's the now, but it is going to be the future. And whether you are getting on YouTube for the purpose of being like monetizing YouTube, like this guy, although he's selling some of his coaching and stuff too, but just to augment whatever else you're doing in life, like what you're doing. I make videos for my law practice and stuff like that. Like there's just so many like people that aren't on YouTube. I don't understand it because it is so easy to get on now.
Yeah, that's, I just want to speak on that. Like, it is probably the easiest of all platforms.
It's
It is
insanely
so
easy.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just, the more I get to know YouTube, the more I like it. And so what I ended up doing is I realized that a couple of my channels, two of my channels, I was trying to do too much with one channel, and certain content was clearly doing well with the audience that I had, and the other stuff got no traction. And so what I did is I took two of my channels and I actually split them in half. And so now, so that means I'm running four channels, but they're four very targeted channels as opposed to two mixed message channels.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to do it, but I really think, I think being targeted in your approach is important with YouTube, and that's one of the things I'm trying to learn and get better at. But what it means, one reason I would bring this point up is so I had a bunch of videos. I don't know if it was 100 videos, but close to 100 videos on another channel that I realized doesn't belong on this channel. It belongs actually on this one I'm streaming to. Some of it belongs here, and some of it belongs on my other new channel I'm growing. And so uh, you can't just like copy and paste videos from one YouTube channel to another. You have to download and then upload it.
Right.
But over the weekend I was uploading dozens and dozens of videos from another channel that I'm gonna repurpose on the new channels. And then what I'm doing is I'm running them all, a bunch of them, maybe not all of them, through Swell AI. So and so that's been really good. And I'm using TubeBuddy. I just bit the bullet and I just got TubeBuddy for those channels because it's so helpful at helping you make sure you're hitting the high parts of your YouTube channel. So I've been working with those two programs to really focus on my YouTube channel, on my my different YouTube channels I have going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and dig up the podcast while we're here, but the one people that I was following, they strongly recommended TubeBuddy. He said it was a driving force that really got the success for them really fast.
Mm-hmm.
TubeBuddy helped them a lot with titles, content creation, keywords, thumbnails. They said it was a driving force to their success. So I'm going to explore TubeBuddy as well. I haven't got there yet, but it's high on my list.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of tutorials and stuff, and then it has a lot of videos on how to do things. But I think for most people, it's like $197 a year, so it's
affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really think it is. I think it is worthwhile for most people to do. Unfortunately, you can't duplicate channels, so you have to one license per channel.
Right.
I do think it is. I think it is well worth it to do. So I think everyone should start a YouTube channel, outfit it with YouTube, at least for the first year until you get the hang of it. I doubt that most people will go back to not using TubeBuddy if you're still YouTubing after a year, and then just keep working at it and fine tuning your brand and your message and kind of go where it leads you.
So I'm trying to pull up the title here of this couple, but it's an older couple. Like I said, they talk about how they started a YouTube channel just a couple months ago, and I'll send you the link though so you can share with the audience. And they share a lot of tips and tricks too. Again, mid to late 50s retirement, started a YouTube channel, and now they've actually monetized it. So
I'd be curious to see. I'm gonna I'd like to pull it up or whatever. There's a lot.
Well, it's called the channel. It's called the Unretirees.
Oh, Unretirees.
Unretirees. This particular video, 52,000 views. So
wow. I'll put them up in the.
Yeah.
I'll put them up in the screen here. Let's see here. I just subscribed to him, so good job.
But again, it's like, and don't forget, like, if even like, the new 50, the 40, 50 is the new 40, and 40 is the new 30, and 60 is 50. Like, if you take care of yourself these days, live a pretty healthy, decent life, and like everyone, I think we all have this set in our mind that when a certain age comes, I know I certainly did, and things, you got to start shutting things down, and you realize, well, I'm just kind of getting started. It's my second career, right? And so yeah.
Well, I think YouTube just offers people so many options in terms of, I mean, because, it does fulfill that desire to kind of like leave a legacy.
Yeah.
But it also, like I said, you can use it if you have another line of business, you can use it to market to that, or to make, closing easier, because you can have playlists that people can go watch, or like monetize. So these people, they only have 29 videos and they have 5.4 thousand subscribers. That's crazy.
Yeah, unbelievable, eh?
Yeah, like you said, their videos are, let's see here.
Now, she also mentioned initially they were using Instagram a lot, and Instagram changed. They were able to put a link on Instagram, their YouTube link on Instagram. And I think Instagram caught on to the fact that people were clicking the YouTube link and leaving Instagram. So they took that feature away. But they said that feature initially really helped them as well. So it was kind of interesting.
Well, Instagram is part of the Meta world, right? And so I know that Facebook especially has been kind of at odds with, has really been trying to compete with YouTube, and so has made it where we can't live stream to Facebook, like from StreamYard, but also like you said, the links. It doesn't want people leaving the platform and going to YouTube. So I'm all about. I do really think that using your other social media needs to be a way to direct people to your YouTube. Like, I think you need to build the power plant in YouTube, and then use the other places to draw people to it.
Yeah. I'm going to. My wife's starting her little business, and she put a little. She put a little. It was about a 8 or 10 minute video of us driving down a mountain, and she said, "I'm just going to throw it on there. No subscribers, no this, and don't even know." She just started the channel like 15 minutes prior to throwing the video on, and it ended up getting, I don't know, 400 or 500 views in 24 hours. And she says, "Why do you think, like, I didn't advertise?" She said, "I just blindly threw a video on YouTube. Why do you think?" And I said, honestly, I think it was because of your title and some keywords we used. And we actually said it was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. And I said, for whatever reason, maybe the algorithms, but it was kind of a test run. And it was really neat to see a really boring video of us driving down a hill, 450 views. So that inspired me that, hey, if we can actually start producing real content and learn the keywords and the thumbnails and the titles, we might be onto something here, because I'm not getting a lot of traction on my other platforms, so I thought I'm going to try the whole YouTube thing. So
I think you can get a quicker return on these other platforms, but YouTube, I think, is a longer play. I think it takes a while to build it up, but once you get going, I think it has a lot of momentum. Where these other platforms, I think you have to be constantly stoking the fire to make them work.
So it's inspired me to get going, and once I get this little project out of the way Thursday, my goal is to hammer away and create a bunch of videos. And I really have to focus. I've been doing a lot of motivational, inspirational stuff, but it hasn't been content related. So now, lesson one's all about goal settings, and we set goals a little differently. And so, I'm going to spend, I can hack that up into 4 or 5 videos, and then, self-image and self-esteem and confidence and breaking. So I'm just going to create each module. I definitely have a lot of content to create videos. So some pretty good stuff. So that's my goal, is to create related content to my program. So it actually gets people thinking, hey, or get people listening or pique their interest, right? So,
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah, that's well, when you get that done, let me know. We'll throw it up on Swell AI and
Yeah.
chop it up. I've been
Yeah.
running a bunch of stuff through it, and that's one of my new favorite things for just generating um,
Yeah.
ideas and boiling it down, summaries, keywords,
Yeah.
quotes, things like that. So yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think I got a 6 or 8 minute video just on goal setting. So I think there's probably some good nuggets in there we can chop up, but I think it'll be a good start to get some stuff going. So yeah, I'm looking forward to YouTube actually. And again, I can't express how easy it is. It's the easiest of all the platforms. It's unbelievable. And don't be afraid of YouTube if you're listening to this. It's actually really good. I know some people um, who are fitness trainers and health and fitness and diet stuff, and they're plastering stuff all over Facebook. And first thing that comes out of my mouth is, "You got to get a YouTube channel." And they're like, "I don't know how." And it's like,
Yeah,
so easy. It's
yeah.
so easy. Yeah.
The only thing I will say about YouTube is it is, and I think this is true for all the platforms, but it is important to be consistent. Like
Yeah.
you want to get started and you want to keep putting content out like every week.
Yeah.
YouTube will um, quickly take notice if there's a gap in a week or something like that.
Right.
I've had that happen before, and I know other
Yeah.
channels have too. So really, the most important thing about YouTube is to start it, and once you start it, just keep doing it every week, doing at least one video a week or two videos a week, and just do it week in and week out.
Yeah.
And whatever happens, no matter how good it is or anybody watches it, make sure that you're doing that once or twice a week, every week. You got to keep at it. That's the most important thing for YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, and you're right. It's like with any platform too. And I notice on TikTok, if I take a day or a couple of days off, and I go from 700, 800 to 1,000 views, and then I posted something today, it's got like 20 views, right? So stay consistent.
Yeah, I like TikTok, but you have to just feed that it's a hungry beast. Like you have to just be like feeding it. I actually find TikTok to be more work than YouTube.
Right.
So I still go hang out over there. I still get referrals and stuff there, but it's
Yeah.
it and it truly is like TikTok is for the most part being used by a different demographic than you and I are
Sure.
dealing with it. I think they want really quick, fast cuts, lots of cuts and all that. And then for us, a lot of us, our heads start to hurt a little bit watching that. So YouTube, I think, is much better designed for
Yeah.
an audience that's in their late 30s and over. I think for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of our my mission there. So that's what's kind of coming down the pipeline. I'm actually retooling some of my other platforms as well and retargeting some things as well. So you got to keep fishing, right? You got to keep throwing lines out there to something bites. And I think that's another. It's easy to get frustrated, but just keep producing stuff and it'll happen. People are paying attention whether you think they are or not. That's the biggest thing I've noticed. Even in my own hometown, I'll walk into a certain grocery store, or a sporting event, and people I haven't seen in years come up to me and say, "Hey, man, I love that video." And it's like, never thought you were listening.
Yeah, I mean, how many times do we watch videos that we don't necessarily hit like or comment or anything like that? We watch it or watch part of it and we walk away, and it's
Yeah,
it's good to remember that. Don't look too much at the results.
yeah,
Um,
for sure, for sure. So, yeah, good stuff.
well, yeah. Anything else before you let you go back to your building your webinar?
No, yeah. So I'm doing my first little event here. It's nothing crazy or big. I'm just learning. It's baby steps, but I'm learning how to put stuff together and Zoom links and registrations, and I'm going to create it into an ongoing, like a webinar, something that'll be able to reproduce all the time without me having to actually do it time in and time out. So I'm going to, if this one doesn't go well, I'm going to definitely keep the script and record it because it's got a powerful message, but make it evergreen. Yeah, just learning along the way. It's, but you got to stay consistent. That's for sure.
Very good. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah. See how it goes. I'll talk to you Thursday or Friday or sometime. I'll let you know.
Sounds good. Yeah. Let me know how it goes. And if you get a link or whatever, share it or whatever. But
yeah. So great stuff.
All right.
Thank you.
Talk to you later, man.
See ya.
Yep. Okay. Chris left, but I wanted to go over a few things that before I wrap this live stream up. So let's see here. So a couple other things I wanted to share with people that ever see this video. So I talked about it a little bit, but so Swell AI is something that I've been really using, especially as I've been rebranding and repurposing some of my content. So I've been putting a bunch of my videos from another channel, moving them onto a different channel, and then I'm running them through Swell AI in conjunction with TubeBuddy to get the to build out the descriptions and the titles and things like that. So this is an example. This was basically the equivalent of this video that I just got done doing from I guess a week ago. And so what it'll produce is it'll give you a full transcript, AI generated, of course, so it's not guaranteed accuracy. It's got clips that you can use if you want to cut them up into social media clips. And what's really cool actually is if you find a section that you like, let's see here. If you highlight a section you like, you can hit create clip and it'll actually make a short clip of that. So that's a really cool feature of Simple Video, or I'm sorry, of the Swell AI, is it'll actually allow you to make specific clips of sections that you want very easily. But the thing that I really like about Swell AI is all these different options they give you. The one I use the most is the ultimate show note. And so what's cool about the ultimate show note is it'll give you, first of all, it'll give you generated titles, and you can use the AI and you can ask it to give me 5 more, or make it more serious, more funny, whatever. You can incorporate stuff into that. It gives you a very detailed synopsis or summary of it, which is really, really cool. And then it gives you timestamps, which I've been using on my super secret podcast. It's very nice to be able to put these in there and people can quickly see, not even if people click on it, but it kind of gives them a table of contents of what your video is about. So I've been, and mind you, this Swell AI and the other stuff that I use really only work for talking videos like this, podcasts, or talking based videos, as opposed to, let's say, videos of your vacation or videos of your kids. It doesn't really, AI so far can't really process video the way it can speaking. And then it'll give you a list of quotes from it, which is kind of nice. And what I've been doing on my other podcast is taking a quote and putting it on the thumbnail for our biweekly podcast. Gives you keywords at the bottom that you can include in and make tags on your YouTube or whatever other platform you're putting it on. It'll put together different ways to share it. So it'll give you a proposed these are Twitter threads here. It actually sets them up. You can just post them. Instagram. And then if you have an email newsletter, it'll give you a draft of that, which is super cool. And then you can use the AI to change the tone, change the length, all that kind of stuff. I already showed you the timestamps. What I like about this is if you add like an intro or outro, specifically an intro, and it changes the timing of things, you can just ask it to add 30 seconds or whatever the length of that is. LinkedIn, same thing. It tailors it to the platform that it is, and it knows the character lengths and all that kind of stuff. Facebook posts, so if you want to share it to a Facebook page or Facebook group. The YouTube description is nice. I tend to use that, and then it does include the timestamps in there as well. Let's see what else. Yeah, article. I haven't used most of this. Mostly, I use it for the summary, for the title, for the summary or description, the titles, and the quotes and the timestamps is what I use for the most part for the YouTube videos that I put out on my podcast. The other thing I want to show you this quick, and then I'm going to wrap it up here. So Opus is, if you don't know what Opus is, Opus Clips is a program that allows you to upload a video or a link to a video, and it will use AI and it'll chop it up into like 20 to 30 second clips. You can change the proposed length, but you can chop it up, and it does a really, really good job. But it's come so far in the 6 months or a year that I've been using it. So I want to show you that real quick. Let's see here. There we go. Share. So this is what Opus looks like. Just to back up a little bit, it gives you, if you uploaded it, it'll break them down into different videos, different clips, and it kind of ranks them in order of how viral it thinks it'll go, what it thinks the hook is, flow, value, trend. It kind of gauges these. And then what you can do is you can go in and edit it. And the edit feature has really, really gotten good. It used to be you had to like preset these before it chopped it up. Now you can change them after the fact, like by adding captions and things like that. You can move the captions around where they show up on the screen. The one thing I really like, one of the most recent ones that I like about Opus is that it allows you to add the equivalent of a caption at the top. So you can add a heading. And this was the one reason that I liked TikTok, actually, is it allowed you to add a really nice kind of white background, black letter thing that shows up, in people's feed. That's the one thing that was missing in YouTube for so long. And so now you can generate it that way. And the only thing you got to do is you got to go down here and make sure that I tend to do it for the whole video. Probably not necessary, but I just do the heading for the whole video. And like I said, you can move that around. You can change the font size, make it smaller. So anyway, this feature here is probably the best thing that's happened to Opus in a while. To the point where I'm going back to using Opus now more. Otherwise, what I was having to do with Opus is I would let it chop it up, and then I might just send it into my inbox like on TikTok, and then I have to go into my phone and open up the TikTok app and make the changes and add the captions, and now it's already done. So Opus is extraordinary. Plus, I don't know, even some of these voiceover, I haven't even tried to use these. This is a really good button for people like me that stutter and stum a lot. So you just take that and it removes pauses. It really shortens it, makes it just kind of flow a little faster. So if you have video, like talking videos, Opus, you might want to really think about for making shorts, because and I use it to make kind of the intro clip for my podcast. So we'll run a video through it, pick a clip that we want, that's the first thing people see. And then it goes into the intro music and intro slide, and then we start the podcast. So I really like Opus for that because it's just so quick, and it gives you these options. You can see it as opposed to like going through otherwise you have to go through and listen to the whole video again, and it just pulls really good clips. So I still use Opus. I'm a big fan of Opus. Opus, Swell AI, and TubeBuddy. Those are my big friends when it comes to podcasting and making YouTube videos. Let's see. Yeah, that's the what I wanted to kind of talk about this week. I was going to talk a little bit about the what I've been doing with taking more video with my Ace 360, but I think I'll save that for next week. I got some updates to the microphone equipment on it. I wanted to talk, but I should devote a little more time to that. So anyway, I appreciate anyone who sees this. If you're new to the channel, and if you find value, please hit like, leave a comment below, introduce yourself, and tell us a little bit about your channel. Hope you'll follow along. If there's any topics you'd like to hear me talk about, let me know. I probably will start live streaming this on a kind of a regular basis on Mondays, probably Monday afternoons, starting around 4:30 or so p.m. Central Time. I'll probably just do a live stream of this stuff. So anyway, I hope you like it. Hope you find it useful, and good luck on your channel. Stick with it and share your message with the world. So anyway, well, I'm going to wrap it up. So I appreciate everyone listening, and until next time, everyone, have a good one.